Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun actually. I enjoyed doing it. My most favorite part about it was that Skullface, Jake Johnson, was in like this new character. He's with Santa Claus. He's with like all sorts of things, and there's like these talking trains and these talking cartoon characters, and the cartoon characters are funny. That's what really brings the joy out. And what I really enjoyed most was that it was kind of like a second Skullface. I mean, it wasn't really a second Skullface, but it kind of was because it was in the same universe. I mean, it's a bit like Split, where that one movie with Bruce Willis that he was in, and then James McAvoy is in Split, and at the end it has that cameo of Bruce Willis, and I kind of tell it was in the same franchise. I mean, it's a bit like that almost, except it all happens at the same time. And I thought this one was funnier than the first one. That's just my opinion, but I thought the Wacky Adventures of Henry and Buster was funnier than Skullface. And what was really great about it is that because Skullface was really a teenager kind of movie because it was about hunting vampires and whatnot, but this was basically like a kid movie but involving a teen character into this movie. And that's what I really enjoyed about it, because you could cross over, I'd say, more like R-rated characters and Nickelodeon characters, more like I'd say Mickey Mouse type, because you cross over R and kid family friendly type of characters. What I thought was really funny about it was that it had talking trains. It was kind of like a Grease kind of theme, except it was diesel trains instead of a greaser guy and the love interest, whatever her name was. But it was, I mean, I just thought it was goofy. It was what kind of gave me the idea to see. I wasn't gonna do a secondary Skullface. I wasn't gonna do a sequel because I was on Lego Pirates. But I thought about doing a Lego Skull because the truth is, and I'll let it out there. There was these two friends I used to be friends with in high school. One of them I just had a huge crush on. I admit it. I did. I had a crush on her. She was the popular girl in high school. She was my friend for about, I'd say, 2 years. Ever since, I'd say, through freshman to sophomore, sort of. And I also met her other friend, and I became very close friends with him. We became buddies, and we hung out. We hung out quite a bit, and there were times where it was all three of us hanging out. And what was shocking is that, and then she introduced me to her best friend she's known her entire life, and then somehow I switched over into liking her instead. I really don't know how that happened, but I guess I did. And then it turns out my friend, the man, said to me, your best friend, which was the woman, has a crush on you. And I'm like, are you fooling around me? And he's like, no, I'm fully serious. She really has a crush on you. And he's like, oh, Jesus, are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, that's good news, but I'm in love with this other person right at the moment. But then the sad part was it didn't work out with this person eventually. So I ended up liking my best friend, apparently. And it was working out well. I thought it was going to be like, etc., happily ever after. But then it went from the good zone to the end zone, because the worst part was that there was this person who was like a real life Regina George. I mean, and she bullied me throughout my entire sophomore year. And it turned out that the two best friends I was with were pretending to be my friends because they were friends with her. And they were just using me to find out who I really was. Yeah, it was the worst thing that's ever happened. Been there, done that. And I was so heartbroken, and I regretted it. And it doesn't haunt me because I've already moved on with it, but then it gave me the idea I need to write something, not a revenge story, but like something that makes me happy and would make me feel better to move on from a bad situation. So that's what gave me the idea to come up with the Wacky Adventures of Henry and Buster. I'm talking about the movie. The characters, Henry and Buster, I have been drawing since I was 12 years old. But the movie, I came up with that myself. That came after the whole experience. And we already have a cast member to play the two love interests. Matt Heald plays Jonathan the Train, and Ellie Wilnut, who is just fantastic. They both are. They're incredible, and they're English actresses. Yeah, Matt is a British actor, and Ellie is an English actress, and they're both great. They're both fantastic. I met them last year when I was in England for the 9th time, actually. And after I saw their performance, I asked them, I have another YouTube movie coming up, and it's my last one. Well, I'd say last live action one, depending on if... I could come back for another one, depends on if Skullface versus Dark Lord gets written into a movie. Because I'm actually writing a graphic novel called Skullface versus Dark Lord, and it's not a sequel to Wacky Adventures of Henry and Buster or the Skullface one. It's actually going to be a rebooted one. It's going to be a redo, whole new story, kind of like the Spider-Man and the Batman. Except this version, he has a brother and a sister, and his brother is engaged. His partner proposed to him, and they go to Lakeside Lake Erie for their vacation, and a bunch of weird things happen in a matter of seconds. Like, there's mutants, there's vampires, there's magic board games, there's all kinds of things that just happen out in the middle of nowhere. Man, who would I want to cast in it? Well, definitely be myself, because I played Skullface about 4 times, actually. I've played him in the first stop-motion film movie I did. I played him in Skullface, I played him in Henry and Buster, and I'm also playing him in an upcoming Taylor Swift Vampire Hunter. That's a stop-motion movie. So, yeah, I would definitely come back to play him again. I really love Pitch Perfect 3, and I love the whole Pitch Perfect trilogy, so I definitely bring back the cast from Pitch Perfect, and I would definitely want Will Smith to play my best friend in the movie, because Will Smith is awesome. He really is. He's the greatest. I just watched this movie, Bright. It is, I'd say, one of the best Will Smith movies I have ever seen, and it is great. Netflix does a phenomenal job with their movies and shows. I watched the reboot to Mystery Science Theater. Fantastic, hilarious. Narcos I really can't get into. I do like Pedro Pascal, but I really can't get into the Narcos show. So sorry, Pedro. But yeah, it was really fun working on that whole movie and that whole thing, and there's just a lot of good memories creating characters, and then it'll all come out, and then eventually it'll all go away, but we could always look back on it over and over again.